Right, Annex A.
93 controls, 4 themes, and a document called the Statement of Applicability that 90% of people fill in by opening a template someone emailed them in 2023 and ticking applicable all the way down. Cute.
Let me guess. Someone on your team has a spreadsheet. It has 93 rows. There's a column called status, and everyone's very worried about getting all 93 of them to say done before the auditor turns up. Sound familiar? Here's the thing, that spreadsheet is not ISO 27001. That spreadsheet is a shopping list somebody handed you without telling you what you're cooking. So let's do this properly. ISO 27001 is a management system standard. The mandatory bit, the bit you actually get certified against, is clauses 4 to 10, context of the organization, leadership, planning, support, operation, performance evaluation, improvement. That's it. That's the machine. Those are the requirements you cannot argue your way out of. Annex A is a normative annex. It's a reference set. 93 information security controls, organized into 4 themes, and its job is to be a menu, not a mandate. 4 themes. Let me give you the shape. Organizational controls. That's a 37 of them, the biggest chunk by a mile. Policies, roles, supplier relationships, incident management, the cloud stuff, threat intelligence.
This is the theme where the real work hides because it's mostly about decisions and ownership rather than kit.
People controls a 6, only 8 of them. Screening, terms of employment, awareness and training, disciplinary process, what happens when someone leaves. 8 controls that quietly determine whether the other 85 ever get followed. Physical controls, a 714, perimeters, entry, equipment, clear desk, physical security monitoring. Yes, if you're a fully remote SaaS company with 9 people and no office, a decent chunk of these get an honest conversation rather than a lock and a badge reader. We'll come back to that. Technological controls, A8, 34 of them. Access, cryptography, logging, secure coding, backup configuration, web filtering, data masking, the ones your engineers actually enjoy talking about. 93 4 themes. That's the map. Each theme gets its own video, and each individual control gets its own video after that, because trying to define all 93 here would be an hour of me reciting a glossary at you and both of us slowly dying. Now, the bit everyone gets wrong.
Annex A is risk-driven. It is not a compliance checklist you must fully satisfy. You do not have to implement all 93 controls. Say that out loud to the person with the spreadsheet and watch their face.
So where does it actually connect? Clause 6. Clause 6.1.2 is risk assessment. That's where you identify what could go wrong for your business, not generic threats, yours, your customer data, your build pipeline, your one senior engineer who holds the entire deployment process in his head and is currently on a beach in Portugal.
Clause 6.1.3 is risk treatment, and this is the bridge. Go through the wording carefully, because the order matters and everybody reverses it. You determine the controls necessary to treat the risks you found.
You determine them, then and only then. You compare that set against Annex A to check you haven't missed anything obvious. Annex A is the sanity check. It is not the starting point. And then you record every one of those decisions in the Statement of Applicability, the SOA, which controls are applicable, your justification for including them, whether they're actually implemented, and your justification for excluding any you've left out. That document is the bridge. It's the thing that proves your controls came from your risks, and it is the single most faked document in the whole of information security. Because here's what really happens. Dave, who has been handed ISO 27001 on top of his actual job, downloads a template. He ticks applicable on all 93 because excluding things feels risky and he doesn't want a nonconformity. Then he writes justifications like best practice and industry standard 93 times. Bless. He's now committed his 11-person SaaS company to implementing physical security monitoring for an office that is a WeWork hot desk and a houseplant. And the auditor is going to ask him about it, not because exclusion is suspicious, because inclusion without implementation is a non-conformity you volunteered for. Let me be blunt about the incentive here. Ticking all 93 doesn't make you look thorough. It makes you look like you didn't do the risk assessment. And it works the other way too, which almost nobody mentions. You can add controls that aren't in Annex A. If your risk assessment throws up something the catalog doesn't cover, you write your own control. Annex A is a floor for completeness checking, not a ceiling on your thinking. Right, 2022, why the numbers changed?
2013 version had 114 controls across 14 domains. The 2022 version reorganized that into 93 across 4 themes. Most of that reduction is merging, not deletion.
They didn't decide security got easier, but they did add 11 genuinely new controls, and this list tells you exactly what changed in the world between those 2 versions. Threat intelligence, information security for cloud services, ICT readiness for business continuity, physical security monitoring, configuration management, information deletion, data masking, data leakage prevention, monitoring activities, web filtering, secure coding. Look at that list. Cloud, configuration, deletion, secure coding. That's the standard finally admitting that most companies are now a pile of SaaS subscriptions and a Git repository. One more thing about the 2022 set. Every control now carries 5 attributes, tags, effectively, control type, information security properties, which is confidentiality, integrity and availability, cybersecurity concepts, operational capabilities, security domains. They're there for filtering and reporting so you can slice your control set by preventive versus detective or pull everything that touches availability. Useful for a board report, not mandatory. Not something to lose a weekend over. And then there's ISO 27002, which confuses everyone.
Simple Annex A gives you the what. A short title and a control statement, usually a sentence or two. ISO 27002-2022 is the companion standard that gives you the how, implementation, guidance, purpose.
Detail, it's the manual for the menu that one gets its own video because it deserves one. So here's where we land. Clauses 4 to 10 are the management system. That's what you're certified against. Annex A is the catalog you draw from to treat the risks that system identified. Clause 6.1.3 is the bridge between them. And the Statement of Applicability is the receipt. If your SOA doesn't trace back to your risk assessment, you haven't got an information security management system. You've got a spreadsheet with good intentions and a color-coded status column. So do this before you touch a single control, before you buy a single tool. Pull up your risk treatment plan and your statement of applicability side by side. Then go down the list and ask one question of every control marked applicable. Which specific risk does this treat? If you can name it, brilliant, you're doing it right. If you can't, someone ticked a box to look thorough. Find out who it was, probably Dave. And Dave needs help, not a telling off. Go and check. I dare you.